This is Cyrus Sepher, and you're listening to the Conversation Podcast by the Immigrant Storyteller. This episode is part of a larger series I'm developing called Artist Confidence. Today I'm going to talk about something that's important to all of us, and that is the question, will I still matter? There was a time when the confidence came from mastery. So you learned a skill and you were good enough to function in society with it. And you became really good at it and you made money at it and you made a living. So that's where the idea today came from, which is, our relevance in today's technology. Now, this obviously touches every criteria, every industry. Automation has expanded. Execution of tasks are much faster, cheaper, and industries are being reshaped. And we question, what is our relevance? Once the required teams, budgets, and years of training now are accessible on a simple push of a button on a desktop, it is vital to understand how to survive. Editing, designing, writing, music production, entire workflows have completely compressed technology-wise. So what happens to the people that learned these skills all these years? What happens to the rules of society where we thought, well, if I learn this, I'm gonna do this? Does that still work for us? We're seeing scripts that are being generated, visuals created, voices replicated, media assembled through synthetic systems. What happens to the people that used to do that for a living? Will they survive this? That's a very important question to ask. Now, we have, when you look at social media, different examples of technology that pops out and you see it, and it is still not perfected the way a human can do the work, but we're not far away from that at all. Marketing firms are using it now, studios are testing it, independent creators are scaling and putting things out, trying new things. But at the same time, content supply across platforms has increased dramatically. Streaming libraries have expanded. Podcasts have multiplied. Short form videos now flood daily attention cycles. So when things are rapidly growing as fast as they're growing, what is the outcome on this? Does the execution of automation eliminate human relevance? That's a good question. I would say no. It compresses production layers, but it does not eliminate decision layers. Automation handles repeatable processes such as editing assistance, layout generations, draft writing, audio cleanup, image rendering, and such. But automation still requires direction, selection, context framing, and final approval. Execution can scale without humans, but execution alone does not create finished work that enters the markets. Impossible. Someone still determines what gets released, when, and why. So if machines produce faster, does speed equal superiority? The answer is no. Speed is an output velocity, not an outcome quality. Generative systems can produce multiple script drafts, dozen visual concepts, rapid design iterations, but selection still requires a human judgment. Faster production creates more options, that's for sure. It does not determine which options carries emotional, cultural, or commercial weight. So has skill become irrelevant? I would say no. Skill has shifted from being differentiating to being expected. Technical competence is now a baseline. For example, editors are expected to operate multiple platforms. Designers are expected to work across formats. Writers are expected to structure content for multiple channels. Skill still matters operationally. It simply no longer guarantees distinction by itself. Where does differentiation now occur? Primarily in four areas: judgment, taste, context awareness, and risk tolerance. These are measurable in decision outcomes, not production mechanics. Two editors may execute the same cut, but one may choose pacing that shifts the audience's emotional response, and the other may not. That choice is not automated. It's a perspective. That's where we leave today's conversation. We opened with the question, will I still matter? And we began grounding it in real structural change. This is part of the Artist Confidence series. Next episodes will focus on where human value still concentrates. This is Cyrus Sepher with the Conversation Podcast by the Immigrant Storyteller, and this begins the Artist Confidence series.